breaking news.
This morning, the nation is waking up to a cold reality. The worst week since the pandemic began. New infections exploding from coast to coast, shattering records for single-day deaths, hospitalizations, and new cases. Now more Americans dead from COVID-19 than in 4 years of battle during World War II.
COVID had a tremendous impact in terms of New York City and particularly the synagogue community.
It was one of those moments you never think you'd ever face in your life. How do you explain to your community that the synagogue is shutting down for the first time for services in 131 years?
More states reaching breaking points as a coronavirus pandemic hits new highs. The U.S. reported more than 100,000 daily cases for the last 10 days.
The U.S. adding 1 million new infections in the last week alone, pushing total cases to 11 million and forcing more states to crack down.
There is no preparation how to run a community during a pandemic. This is not something anyone's trained for. When the moment came, I really feel like people did the best they could. From the leadership, Rabbi Schneier, Mrs. Schneier, the president, the board, sisterhood, and rank and file members of the synagogue.
I said to the clergy immediately, by Zoom, keep on preaching, faith and not fear. We did not discontinue our services. We took advantage of modern technology.
Every morning, we had services from our homes, from our dining rooms, with bad Zoom connections, making sure that we led morning services and evening services. On Shabbos, when we couldn't be live, we would record before Shabbos. For Yizkor, we did a service online.
Members who were elderly or had pre-existing conditions that they couldn't really go out of their house without putting themselves at risk. We kept a list of those people, kept in touch with them, made sure to see if there was anything that they needed.
We never felt we were gone from them and they were with us. So even if you weren't here, you were connected.
Every member of the congregation felt we were there for you. You're not alone.
Tonight is an unprecedented time for New York State and New York City. All non-essential businesses closed their doors 3 hours ago as the state goes on pause to fight coronavirus.
What the security team did here and what the maintenance team did for the synagogue was incredible. They would come when there was a shutdown, and they came at great personal risk.
They used to come every day to make sure that everything was good, at least to have the feeling that someone was at the synagogue.
Regardless whether it be through a pandemic, we still maintain our level that we're in control of this institution and we know what's best for this institution.
Coming off of August, where there's not a lot of background infection, I think there's going to be an attempt to reopen schools in the fall.
When the synagogue and school were starting to reopen, we had people that we were working with to make sure that there were safety measures in place, that everyone would be kept healthy.
With the help of my staff, we implemented a good program that it was very successful.
You had contact tracing going on. We were spaced. We were masked. Sanitation precautions were taken. Ventilation precautions were taken. The people who came here, they got that sense of security, and that enabled them to come back repeatedly.
Some of the country's earliest hotspots, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, will now fully reopen in a little over 2 weeks with plans to lift most of their capacity restrictions.
We are seeing bright light at the end of the tunnel.
What COVID really taught me about the shul is the importance of the family relationship that we have. People couldn't see their family, they couldn't see their friends, but they knew that Park East Synagogue would be there for them.
This has been a very unique experience in our lives spiritually, and I must say it was not only an honor, but a real blessing to be part of this.
It's a family institution. Everyone knows each other. Everyone works together.
We're all there for each other no matter what we need. And so when your job is there for you, you want to be there for your job.
I just want to thank everyone, the leadership, and those members of the congregation who are here week after week to support this institution and to keep the spiritual meaning of this institution sustained during this very difficult period of time.
Every crisis comes to an end. The sacrifices are enormous. The losses are great. But there's a renewal. There is rebirth. United, we prevail. Divided, we fail. And that holds true of a community, of a country, and therefore, I'm very proud. Park East Synagogue has always been a united family.
In a moment where New York was in a great storm, Park East was the calming force. We served for so many members and continue to serve as consolation, as a bastion of faith, knowing that this shul will continue, that Am Yisrael Chai, that New York residents, Jew and non-Jew alike, will get through the pandemic. And thank God, I think we can say that we have.